right, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of the first split here for the LCUS. I am Kenos as always, and today I'm going to be joined by Sig to Lord. How you doing, Sig?
I am fantastic. How you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great. Ready to get these games underway and rolling. Always happy to start another week of LCUS action. So today we have, as always, 3 sets of games coming up. Set 1 is going to be Brew City Brawlers versus Take the Lantern. Then we have Triple Strike versus Campers and White Wolf versus Northern Storm. We're actually jumping right into the Champ Select for this, so we'll go over a little bit about the current standings after the Champion Select has been picked up. Um, we do have one point of note here. Brew City Brawlers has had a little bit of a... Well, now we're having some technical issues, as is the way things go. But Brew City Brawlers has had to put in a sub, so they'll be losing their first set of bans because of the last-minute nature of that. What are your thoughts on that, Sig?
Life happens. We don't want to penalize people that are playing in our league when life happens. I hate that the sub happened, and it definitely puts an odd twist on things. It means that the preparation the other team made isn't going to be as accurate as before if they did plan on falling into maybe attacking the island of top lane. But we're just going to have to see. This new player coming in is an unknown X factor.
Yeah, for sure. It looks as though the game was just set up with a little bit of an error there, so they'll be fixing that really quickly. But now we do have time to talk about the standings, so let's pull those up really quick here. Um, we have Northern Storm, who will be playing later in the day at the top of the brackets with 6 points, having won both of their sets of games in the last 2 weeks very, very cleanly. Hardcore Campers in second place, having won and lost sets on various weeks. And also, Take the Lantern and Brew City Brawlers, who are our first set of games here, are both tied for last place. So it'll be interesting to see who edges out which team and manages to get those extra points.
And those points are going to be very important as we're ending the end of the regular season. As we move into the playoffs, this could be the deciding factor when we go into that playoff bracket.
Yeah, most definitely. Always interesting to see how the point allotments do work out. And here's hoping that the teams at least go in, give it their all, and actually manage to feel comfortable with how it works out. Because I know there's been some issues with score allotment before, um, but we'll obviously be able to get that underway as soon as we can. Yeah, just getting a few more things fixed out here. Some players locked in, will be ready to go. What are you hoping to see out of this first set of games, Sig?
After the past 2 weeks of seeing some really exciting play from both teams, though they may be 1-1, these ones at the end of the category, these losses, they were incredibly hard fought. And if I remember correctly, the Take the Lantern, they take it way into the late game. I'm wondering if they're going to stick with that strategy against the Brawlers, who have had some early game success in the prior 2 weeks in their games.
Yeah, definitely. And like you've said, there's been a lot of really close matches coming out of Take the Lantern. And hopefully they manage to pull out a full solid victory. They've been going, 0-2 or 1-1. So seeing them being able to pay off those last second swing victories is something I'm really hoping we can see.
And I'm sure we will.
Yeah, most definitely. And it looks as though most everyone is ready to get rolling. So now that they've given us a little bit of a chance to talk about the standings, we'll be moving right into the next game in a second. But then, of course, like we said earlier, games following up after that will be Triple Strike versus Campers. Triple Strike and Campers are both pretty close. Campers, of course, in second place. Triple Strike tied for third. So Triple Strike could use this as an opportunity to, if they sweep out Hardcore Campers, to claw their way into second place. And we also have Wolf Gaming versus, or White Wolf Gaming versus Northern Storm. So, and that, of course, Northern Storm might end up with their first loss there because White Wolf Gaming has proven they're able to take one game off of pretty much everybody so far. But now
They're a scrappy squad.
Yeah, most definitely. We're hoping to see some of that scrap and moving through. But now we're finally into the champ select, and we will see what we can see. Of course, with Brew City losing their opening bans, there is a little bit of delay on that because we have to wait for the bans to expire.
Just builds more tension.
It does. Something that I was thinking maybe what they could do is they could just build a list of champions that no one's ever going to play and ban those out, you know?
The second you do that, all you're doing is bring attention to those, and then they're going to see nothing but play.
For sure.
We did see our first ban come across.
Yeah, Xayah, of course, really good ban pick for that, or ban selection, I should say, for that. She's been dealing a lot of heavy damage throughout the tournament.
Incredibly meta right now. One of the best team fighting ADCs out there.
And of course, always nice to kind of take some ADCs off the board. What I am interested to see, though, and this is something that maybe Take the Lantern will be able to take advantage of, is what kind of picks they're going to come out, because they're getting basically free champions at this point.
I think it's going to affect the long haul, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on those tier 2 bans. Because you got to do all the cleanup work, and it's going to be banning out the last 2 roles that haven't been picked from the best of your ability to tell. So if Take the Lantern did make any flex picks, this could be an incredible opportunity for them to seize that opportunity to throw a blind left hook onto Brew City.
Mm-hmm. Or to secure champions they're really good with. I mean, we all know that Gotta Get Lucky's got a few weird picks that he's been playing out, like the Malzahar or Kennen. Being able to get those in there and mix it up could be really interesting to watch.
Most definitely. We did see the Alistar ban come across, so I think that is a targeted ban.
Yeah, because I mean, I believe Bruce Lee did use Alistar either last week or the week before. To relatively good effect. Of course, Alistar is really great at doing some of that crowd control disruption and healing. So don't want to discount him, and obviously don't want to take him off the board. And Tristana, of course, another good ADC being removed as well.
Late game hypercarry off the board. Very important board piece taken off the map.
Very interesting. The first pick is Kayn for Brawlers there.
Early game, mid-game aggression going to be key. Can't wait to see how they play out with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure part of the thought is they've got to pick a team that's kind of, you know, good at fighting against what Take the Lantern is good against, or good with, you should say, because, you know, they know that those pieces are all still on the board, so it's something to kind of keep an eye out for there. But we got Caitlyn and Sejuani locked in. Sejuani, of course, seeing a lot of play thanks to her good CC.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see what kind of picks come out from Brew in response to that. Obviously, Kayn is a jungle character, most likely, so they do have their jungle locked up. They do know sort of what the bot lane is looking like now with the Caitlyn, and of course Sejuani ganks, so ADC could be a pick there, and we do see an Ezreal come out as well. So
Ezreal is such a huge pick right now. With the Kleptomancy and him double procking off his autos, it's just insane. So I'm really pumped to see them play this right now.
yeah, it should definitely be a good option overall, especially because he has that extra escape functionality. So he'll be able to avoid Sejuani's many stuns, at least, you know, initially. Especially now that he can dodge out of Veigar's circle. So a little less lockdown there.
So I go.
Less lockdown, but you can't ignore the small big man in the mid lane. Veigar is going to be huge, with huge.
Yeah, most definitely. With as we've said so often, the delete button that Veigar has.
Man, this is going to be the whole left side of the keyboard if he's able to make it to the late game.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see if they let him get there. As you said, Take the Lantern is definitely kind of more of a fan, leaning toward those longer games, and we've seen them get some swings when that happens, so Veigar will certainly help them get those swings, especially if they start sort of falling behind, but let him farm.
Oh yeah, and you got to avoid that. And I think the Shin and the Sona ban, that's going to be some interesting counterplay there. I think they're trying to lock down some of that ability, that team survivability in these team fights.
Ooh, looks like there was a bit of a screw up there by Lantern. Not sure if that was intentional or not. I don't believe it was. So even less bans this one. A lot more open book. So we'll see what Brew City does for their final ban of this round. Malphite. All right. Taking out two big CC characters there, Sona and Malphite. And like you said, the Shen, of course, is a good character as well, especially because top lane is still open for the Brew.
Top and insane team fight ability. So this was a major ban for them. Not sure why they got rid of the 5th ban. I mean, maybe they feeling cocky. Oh, and we do see the Kennen pick come in.
Yep, there it is. So Kennen gets to slip through. We've seen Gotta Get Lucky be very good at getting those large stuns. Maybe a little aggressive with Kennen, considering his somewhat squishy nature. But, of course, Kennen does have the ability to get in and get out because he's a very fast character.
Oh yeah, an incredible lockdown. An ultimate that just seems like it never ends.
Oh, we're getting Kled. We're getting a Kled.
Oh, man after my own heart.
I remember, I believe Kled did very well on the special games we played on Wednesday. I recall seeing some comments about Kled kicking butt. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Most definitely. And for viewers joining us, Wednesdays we do some special streaming, so we hope you'll join us for that. Much more relaxed, entertaining atmosphere. Braum Band coming across.
Or Selection, rather.
Selection.
Yeah, really good at protecting people, of course, especially against those sort of long-range attacks that Caitlyn likes throwing out. Against some of Kennen's stun abilities, too, so that'll be really good to protect the Ezreal and the Kled. This week, I'm getting a note we'll be having ARF for the Wednesdays, so that'll be good. Hope you guys all stay tuned for that.
I know, I'm pumped for it. We did see the Leona come across as the final pick for Team Take the Lantern. Major counterplay there. Playing a Leona into Braum, you're looking to counter some of that prolonged stun ability he has with his auto attacks and with his stun passive.
Yeah, most definitely. And I'm very interested to see how this top lane especially plays out. Because Kled's got a lot of really good CC options. He's got good chasing ability, so if Kennen goes too deep and tries to get away, Kled can go after him. But, you know, more than that, there is a lot of... this looks like it's going to be a very sort of ranged style game. We've got Ezreal, Xerath, all very long-range characters. Kayn can kind of move around those sorts of things, being able to run through walls and sorts like that. On the other side, you've got Kennen, Caitlyn, of course, very long range. Leona able to close long ranges very quickly, and Veigar, who, of course, you know, has some distance on him as well. What are your thoughts on the distance factor?
I think this is going to be a game of reach when you have a Caitlyn, when you have a Kennen, Veigar, incredible poke capability, but we cannot underestimate the amount of mobility that Kled will bring to these team fights. Plus, with them running double TP, it's going to be major mobility issues in the late game. So, Xerath, he may be slower than Molasses going uphill both ways, but when you got a Kled on your team, you ain't got to worry about that.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, the double teleport will be really interesting to see how that works out for gank potential, for just being able to cover lanes. Especially once we get into those later game situations where maybe someone gets caught out but a TP comes in and helps save them. Or they hide and TP out faster than going back would.
It could happen. It could happen. And the major obstacle that Take the Lantern's going to have to overcome is they got to make it to this late game. They got to get that Caitlyn fed. They got to let the Veigar feed himself. And this is going to be incredibly difficult in the lineup that they have. This broken, in my opinion, Ezreal playing into that versus Xerath. I mean, he's got Xerath early in mid-game. He's able to throw down the lockdown on you. He's clearing waves faster than you. He's pushing that tower faster than you. And it makes it incredibly hard for a Veigar to farm with that Q at that point.
Yeah, but I think it's also worth noting, and once again, this is something that Take the Lantern's kind of been doing, a lot of CC coming out of Take the Lantern. I mean, you've got Leona, you've got Veigar, you've got Sejuani, you've got Kennen, all with stuns, all with slows, one or the other or both. I mean, Caitlyn's net as well. All can work really well in those team fights, which you've seen them do before, where no matter how far behind you are, if the person that's kicking your butt, if it's the Ezreal, if it's the Xerath, if they're stunned, it doesn't matter how fed they are. So...
Oh, yeah. And the CC definitely goes to Take the Lantern. Everybody on that team has a type of limiting mobility, either a stun or a slow. Slow ain't going to matter much when you've got the counter speed abilities that this other team has.
Very
I
true.
mean, Kane's mobility through terrain, Braum with the incredible knock up and his slow on his Q. It's going to be close.
Most definitely. I think it's definitely going to come down to execution on Take the Lantern's part. They're going to need to be able to figure out who to stun in team fights, how to coordinate their stuns, because obviously, like, we've seen Kennen able to get off huge team stuns. Vigar's Circle can get off some big stuns. So if those two characters don't get locked down in the first second of the fight, for example, from Braum's knockup, and manage to get those stuns off, we could have quite a game here on our hands.
Definitely. And it's worth pointing out with the poke comp that Take the Lantern is running, if that Kane can't get into the back lines, it's going to be incredibly difficult for this team. Doesn't matter how mobile you are, Brew City Brawlers isn't going to be able to move into the back line to take out those carries. That's where Kane is going to be such an important pick in this match.
For sure. Well, here we are moving into the first game now. Not really feeling the skins for either team, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I pride myself on maintaining such a strong reserve, but when I see Pulsefire Caitlyn, my heart throbs just a tiny bit too much.
I don't know. I was going to say the same thing about that Xerath. That skin looks very nice.
I mean, to be fair, Kane is a beautiful man. I know my wife has told me if he was real, I'd be single, probably at release. So we're just going to have to see if this beautiful man can take on this wonderfully crafted skin that Caitlyn has.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Of course, if he ends up going with his other passive ability, maybe he won't be so pretty anymore. But we'll see as the game progresses there. Alright, both teams setting up here. Some pings in the jungle already. And we are off. Yeah, a lot of movement. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a standoff in the jungle here. Maybe if they don't end up fighting, give me a second to swap the scoreboard around here for you good folks. There we go. Alright, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit past, a little bit of a push here.
Let's see what happens.
A lot of trouble here.
Nope, they were very patient with that.
They're still very patient. They're waiting for the
right
Xerath.
onto the Xerath. You're going to see first blow. Oh, wait, with the flash.
Good flash.
Sejuani caught out and is going down to the Xerath.
Oh wow, folks, this is insane. The attempt to gank just totally blew up on Take the Lantern's face. They make it to Xerath though. Oh, Xerath being a little greedy there.
1 for 1, but first blood is going to Brew City Brawlers. Incredible early game.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. It is worth noting that Caitlyn did get the kill though, so bot lane's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think.
Perhaps it's going to be some obstacles to overcome there. I just want to point out that flash by Xerath, if it was timed any perfectly, the universe would turn on its axis at that moment. He could not have flashed at a better time to get out and was just able to turn it around to get that early kill. So first blood going to the mid lane going to make Huge's job even harder.
Yeah, most definitely. The flash was perfect, and just another point of just knowing your character, knowing how much they can take, and also, having the confidence to not give up. Some people might have just not blown the flash, taken the death, and gone back. But he was willing to stick it out and did a good job. Just a shame he got picked off later.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but now after that initial excitement, everything's going to pretty much basic. We'll see where some aggression seems to come in later, though everyone seems to be relatively content. A little bit of poking going on the Braum. Mid lane.
He deserves it. Oh, Leona going crazy.
Yeah. Leona, of course, going in really deep there. She's known to do that, especially at level 2. But Ezreal, someone manages to get out. This could be a little bit dangerous for the King. They blow flash for it. They do get the stun
we'll
off.
see. This is going to be incredibly
Really
close.
Oh, support steals. But they might get the Leona too. We'll have to see. Ezreal's
it looks like
really
it.
Low.
Oh, wow!
Ezreal goes
I don't
down.
think the Brahm's going to be able to damage that out.
Brahm's going to get taken out too. Leona's too strong.
She is super strong early game. With that empowered Q, it's very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Well done to the team Take the Lantern.
Yeah, that was a little greedy by the Brawlers there. They got their one kill and thought, hey, maybe we can get some more, and Leona reminded them why she's such a good pick.
Oh yeah, early game machine.
Looks like Kennen is using his range disadvantage, helping push the lane in there on the Kled top lane. CS is relatively equal up there, though. Mid Veigar is actually winning in CS, so that's I'm not going to say surprising, but that's rather good for the Veigar because, like we said, Xerath is just a big lane bully.
He's able to just push up, but Huge is having nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
See if he can keep his pace up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Looks like the Sejuani is going to try to come in and help out Veigar even more. Obviously, they want to take advantage of that. Oh, and a stun. Here we go. Lot of damage and awesome. Absolutely great. Sejuani gets the kill.
Yeah, Panic Stun couldn't get the job done, Kinos.
Yeah. It sometimes does, though. You got to make the effort.
Lord, I mispronounced your name again. We need to get you a name badge. That's what we need to do with the phonetic spelling.
Phonetic spelling.
Just to help your old hick buddy here.
I appreciate that, Sig. Thank you so much. All right, so we got a quick lead here by Take the Lantern. That's generally standard for their games as well. They tend to get ahead early and then lose a little bit in the mid and come back strong in the late. So all according to plan so far.
Oh yeah.
Looks like a little more presence in the top lane, and Kennen could get a kill there. Brahm's in a little bit of trouble, but manages to dash out thanks to Ezreal moving up on him.
Oh yeah, Braum jump, such an underestimated utility move.
Definitely something that a lot of, if you're trying to get good at Braum, try to keep that in mind. Try to keep positioning of where your allies are in mind to try to improve on that.
Oh yeah, Keno's top tips, y'all. Write it down. Throwing at the chat real quick in this lull, we see some people calling for FF at 5. I don't know if that's the best call. We always want to encourage people play to the late game.
Big rotation here on the Xerath, but they spied out with wards pretty easily. Looks like they might be going for an early dragon here. Well,
making sure to get the scuttle.
And Xerath's keeping him honest, but there could be a little bit of trouble here. Leona is very tanky, so she may be able to walk out of this, but it's going to be close. Yeah, she's good.
I think they're going to be able to turn on the Caitlyn. But we'll have to see. Sejuani is there.
Yeah, Sejuani showing up is a really good heads-up rotation there. Xerath is also coming down, but I'm not sure that he'll be able to get much done because, once again, wards spot out everything. Really good heads-up ward placement.
Most definitely. We did just miss some important action in the top lane as Kennen, but got to get lucky. Incredibly low, and we do see the ultimate come across. He's trying to close the gap. Wasn't able to do so. Kennen makes it under the tower.
Yeah, good job by the Kennen staying aware. Other people who might have, gone for that, gone shopping while he was going back would have gotten picked off pretty easily. But of course, Kled's ult declaring itself does help remind you where you are.
And his movement when trying to escape was intelligent because Kled he can't hang a turn that well.
Yeah, Xerath meanwhile was getting hounded a little bit there. Does get stunned by Veigar, who gets a little bit of a poke but manages to miss. So Xerath has to keep fighting for his lane, and we'll have to see how that goes as we move on. With Veigar, of course, still having a CS lead.
And he's going to need that come late game. So that's big ups to him. 16 CS lead.
And his Q is at, or his stacks are at 46, for those wondering at home. Alright, so yeah, like you said, a little bit of a lull, a little bit passive here. We got any more interesting comments going on?
Right now, we do see some, looks like they are hearkening back to our comment, my comment about the phonetic alphabet. Leona Broken. Great call by Beard of Odin in chat. And harkening back to those fun games that happened on Wednesday. Folks, we cannot encourage you enough. Those are casual, but by no means not fun. It's definitely a must-watch.
Alright. Looks like Veigar's at a little bit of disadvantage here. He's at about 60% health and very low mana against a full-powered Xerath here, so maybe he should think about backing out before things get too hairy. We'll have to see. He's been handling himself pretty well so far, as we've noticed with the CS, so maybe he's confident enough.
Yeah, and if I was in his shoes, I would not be hitting that panic button yet. With the Lost Chapter in my inventory, I know that as soon as I level, I'm going to level that playing field. So not too big of an issue, but I understand the threat.
Yeah, he's about 75%, 80% now, so he's got about 20 more to his level. Oh, got gank going up top lane. Kennen does get the stun off, but Kane comes in, and this should be a kill, and it is.
Incredible play there.
All right, nice to see
Well
Kane getting more involved in that too. And Leona might be trying to gank here on the Xerath. I don't know if this was spotted, so we'll have to see if he pushes forward at all. My guess is he won't. Yeah.
Yeah, smart play on him. Good MIA coming from the red side.
Yeah, especially because, you know, blue doesn't have that many turrets up right now. Or not turrets, wards up right now. So you have to just be aware, especially because he's been ganked 2 or 3 times already. So you just have that knowledge of, oh yeah, they're probably going to be coming after me again if someone's missing.
Oh yeah, and for such a limited mobility champion such as Xerath, you gotta have your eyes open the whole time.
Getting a little bit low as Xerath really being that bully that we said he would be now, with poor little Uge there. All right, but the Sejuani, of course, is coming back around. Does avoid the ward, actually. Xerath may have just caught a pick of her, but no, he decides to ult instead and is now going forward to try to secure a kill. Great movement there by the mid laner on Take the Lantern. Kane does show up, but I don't think he's going to be able to secure this for them.
Oh my god!
The Ezreal
Ezreal!
ult. Amazing
Coming in
Ezreal
from the
ult.
bot lane! Half court dunk right there! Man, oh man!
And for the record, we did get that on tape. That was not something that I missed, so that's good.
Woo!
But yeah, we're seeing a lot of really strong rotations coming out of Take the Lantern here. I think they've really learned from some of their earlier mid-game blunders, and so now when they see some advantage in a different lane, they decide to try to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, and that was just and we might be seeing it again. Leona does E in, but she walks out shortly thereafter, realizing that Caitlyn, I guess, wasn't with her. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Kled coming in. Kennen wisely goes the other way. Good.
Kled looking to clear the way.
Yeah. Good awareness there by the Kennen, guessing which direction the Kled was coming from rather than possibly walking into it. Sejuani gets spotted approaching, so bot lane for Brew wisely backs off. Looking, of course, at the CS, we do see mostly an advantage for Team Take the Lantern. Mostly because of all the lane pressure they've been putting down, forcing people out of lane or some rotations here and there. Gold tells mostly the same story, though Ezreal and Caitlyn are, you know, more or less equal. Mid lane is down by about 400 gold, and top is down by about 300. Those in reversed favors, mid in favor of Take the Lantern, and top in favor of Brew.
Oh yeah, this is still anybody's game. It's an even 17k to 17k. We're nowhere near done.
No, of course not. Big movement here from Take the Lantern. I'm wondering when they're going to finally bite the bullet and take that dragon. They've been really kind of hinting at it for the last couple of minutes, but it doesn't seem like they. I think they're more hungry for positioning and kills than they are for specific objectives right now.
Most def, and when there's an objective to contest, sometimes it's just better to take the kills while you're contesting it. So I understand that play, and I think that's some next level stuff that we're seeing out of Take the Lantern right now.
Yeah, once again, really good ward positioning coming out of Take the Lantern there. If you notice, they did manage to plot the ward down just as Kane was showing up, so they managed to spot that out and be able to now push forward with a little bit more confidence.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, in this lull, let's throw it over to chat for a second. I'm seeing some good hashtags regarding the Ezreal ult. Forgot to pray to Dora the Explorer. Sniper, no sniping. I like that.
Yeah. Big exchange going on here in the top lane. Obviously, no one quite near death yet, but both players keeping each other honest. Interesting to see how big of an impact that Kennen's going to be once he gets a few more levels in him. Bit of a gank going on down here, but I think they're saving up another turret. Ooh, Ezreal just manages to get out, but Leona's going in on him. Teleport coming in as well from the Xerath. Ezreal goes down. Xerath is probably committing here, yeah. Trusting the Braum to stay on the Leona. Maybe not the best choice, but does ult and misses, gets the Leona. Big R comes in. Oh, good dodge there by the Xerath, and Caitlyn's getting hit by the turret. Takes 2 tower shots. Make him flash to avoid the Braum. Kane, I'm surprised hasn't rotated down. He could have secured that Caitlyn pretty easily, though it looks like Brahm's going to get it anyway. Brahm gets it, but Xerath gets taken down under turret.
Yeah, that was a misplay on her end. I think she had misgauged. Caitlyn had gauged where she was incorrect in relation to the wall.
Yeah, most definitely. Just a shame that Kane wasn't there, but I think he's going to try to take advantage of Sejuani being bot to steal some of her buffs. Top lane, oh, Kled's little dinosaur comes back just in time to save him.
Oh yeah, and while we were watching the world end in the bot lane, there was an incredible exchange in the top lane where Kennen got less than 10% health, but he was able to escape and then recall TP back to lane. So it was some exciting stuff we missed, but top lane's an island, so we're always going to be pulled that way.
Yeah, it's always funny, you know. It's a question of, okay, so do you watch top lane or do you watch the fight continue bot lane? It's always rough to jump between the two.
Oh yeah, and if you watch top lane, a good 50% of the time you could just be watching two people farming to the best of their ability. So I think you made the right call there.
Ezreal almost gets hit by Leona's ult, so Leona's ult's going to be down for a little bit. Kane is trying to go in on the Kennen, but of course Kennen's speed manages to get him out of there pretty easily. Sejuani is just kind of chilling right now. Might be trying to bug the Xerath a little bit. Xerath doesn't seem to care though. Just kind of slides out of there as a floating statue does. Alright, looks like, yeah, Sedge is just kind of rotating. Might be starting Dragon. Yeah, it looks like they are starting Dragon finally. Getting this
About
Ocean
time.
Drake. We'll have to see if how contested it is. Ezreal, of course, does have a lot of ranged abilities that could help pick it off. But of course, Ezreal doesn't want to get picked off by the Leona besides. We'll see. Ult does come down. Ooh, Xerath almost gets it, but Leona immediately turns on the Ezreal. It's gonna be close if the Ezreal doesn't get back, but he does. Braum is sacrificed there, trapped in that pit. Kane does get caught on the Veigar's ability, and a really good ult thrown out there by the Sejuani just to make sure that Kane doesn't give any threat to anyone as they all retreat.
Yeah, most definitely. Menards wasn't going to let that engage happen again. He understood the level that they had got from that and were ready to just cash out, man. Game over.
Yeah, and it's good to have that awareness too, to not necessarily save your ult for the big time engages, but just save your ult just to make sure your retreat is covered properly. But we know...
Ooh, intelligent sweeper by Leona.
And here comes Kled again. Wisely getting out of there is Kennen.
Now, Baconlicious is a sub for Team Brew City Brawlers, but he is performing well. He's doing very well.
Yeah, definitely, especially with some of that help that Kane's been able to offer him. So it's nice to see that their subs working out for him. Always interesting bringing in a new player, because obviously it's a detriment to the team that's playing against them, but also a detriment to the team who may not know who they're playing with.
Yeah, and with the friendly atmosphere we keep here at the LCS, just because you've played with someone doesn't mean that someone else on your team has played with them. So yeah, there could be major issues if it's not well coordinated and explained.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the LCUS is so focused on being a friendly atmosphere. We have everyone sign something that says they understand it's a friendly atmosphere. So
I believe the clause explicitly says I'll make sure that this stays friendly and I will not be salty.
yes, we're so about friendliness here. We made it official. We'll have to see. Good flash there by Leona. Gets her under tower. Good stun. Oh, there goes the ult. Brahm's desperately trying to defend, but Ezreal gets picked off anyway. And looks like they're going for two here, and they get it.
Man, Andy AoE and Alonzi cannot catch a break today, but neither can this Kennen, as we see Rams and Baconlicious in the top lane going for the gank, but not paying off for him.
Yeah, looks like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there. Once again, talking about having someone new you're playing with. Kane did not want to go in on that, but the Kled did. So if Kane had, maybe they could have picked the Kennen off. Kennen was very low, about 200 hit points. But it doesn't matter now, and we have Take the Lantern getting the first turret.
Oh yeah. Big play, and that puts them at a 2k gold lead, almost 3, 27k on the side of Brew City Brawlers, 30k for Team Take the Lantern.
And you know, once again, we're seeing that Take the Lantern is learning a lot from their past experiences here. They're securing the mid game rather well. More of these good rotations as the whole team, except for Ken, is rotating mid. Looks like they may be going further. They might be all be going top. Does this seem like an overcommitment to you, Sig?
I don't. Maybe. Honestly, I think they're trying to position themselves so that they could take Kled and then maybe recommit to the Lord have mercy. The English language is harder than you'd think. The Herald, Rift Herald.
Looks like they've actually changed their mind on that. When Kled fell back, Caitlyn just recalled, and everyone else is kind of falling back. So it's a lot of wasted time they could have been using in lane when they just had a little bit of miscommunication there. Good flash initiation there, though. Double flash.
Yeah, they're not wasting time.
Kled does get in here as well. Kled might be able to take down the Vigar. Xerath does get out. Vigar gets out as well.
TP in from Cannon, throws down the ultimate, lands a triple stun.
Xerath all coming in, trying to make something happen. Should be able to get this cannon. They do.
Looks like they might be investing in the Caitlyn. She does throw down the flash. We have 3 players from Brew City Brawlers looking relatively safe right now.
I was almost going to say that Ezreal could be able to clean that up, but his ult is still down. Of course, because the team Take the Lantern does have that Ocean Drake, they'll be able to regen a little bit, but looks like they aren't willing to risk it, and they're just going to head back and sacrifice this tower.
I'd call that a trade, a fair trade.
Yeah, definitely. So, still a very, very even game. Very close. That was, of course, a little bit of a crazy team fight, but came out about even. So, good to see this starting off strong, and hopefully it keeps going strong.
Oh yeah, I don't think these teams are anywhere ready to stop. With the incredible engage that Kled risked, it was a big play on their end. I think it allowed them to even out that team fight and make it a 1-for-1.
But of course, we must keep an eye out on the delete button. Veigar now is at 146 on his stacks, so getting up there. Not quite where a Nasus would be at 20 minutes, but you know, we can't all be Nasus.
I don't think we'd want to play that game.
No, come on, you don't want 5-on-5 dogs just one-shotting each other.
Yeah, 50 minutes into the game, I'd be boring as heck. It's like Farmville that turns into CSGO at the end.
Alright, so Braum does rotate up here to try to help out his mid laner. A lot of good ward awareness there. Kled is now in the bot lane and Ezreal's in the top lane. Interesting lane switch there. I have to see how it works out for him. Dragon is up in 10 seconds-ish, 15. So it looks as though Take the Lantern's probably going to try to reposition and get their claws into that one. It's going to be a Fire Drake, which of course is really good for all stages of the game.
Oh yeah, and it's something that he's going to try and continue much heavier as the game continues on, try and scale up.
Oh, Braum's going in really aggressively. He is all alone here, and he's probably going to get picked off. Little too far forward there for LNC. I'll be casting with him later, so I'll give him a hard time about that. Cannon might be able to get top turret here. Nope. Gotta get one more push out of it. But it looks like Take the Lantern should be able to secure this dragon relatively uncontested. Everyone else is kind of rotated away.
Oh yeah, after seeing what happened to Alonzi, I don't think they're willing to invest in that.
Well, Xerath's willing to try. That was really close. They made a good shot there, but they get
Close
the dragon. They get the dragon and the turret, and they might get Kled if they just go check out that brush.
True, that's a butt clencher right there, Keno.
Yeah, that was close. Not quite as horrible as it could have been because they didn't. But yeah, that was something you got to look out for. I wonder what Kled's backup plan was. I'm sure it was, oh god, I hope they don't see me.
Well, if he's anything like this Hick, you don't bring one, because that means you're thinking you're gonna fail.
Alright, so we got Veigar all alone farming bot still. Kled's looking to get in on that. He's kind of hungry. Can't be stunned because of his ult. Maybe Veigar didn't know that, and Veigar's in a lot of trouble. He's probably going to end up going down unless he gets a flash off here. That's great. Another stun. Oh, the Kled does the flash instead. Veigar gets away with 40 hit points.
Oh, major investment on the part of Kled, and I do not think he's going to be able to close that gap.
I don't think so either. Ezreal might be able to ult this. Ezreal has 8 seconds on his ult.
We'll have to see. I don't think they have awareness of where he is.
Come on, Ezreal.
Nope. Got away clean.
Oh, well.
But not so clean for that mid lane turret, as that puts team take the lantern two towers down in the mid lane.
Yeah, Kennen was trying to make something happen there, but he got spied out pretty easily. Once again, great warding by Brawlers. So yeah, we're still at a very close game. Obviously, if you look at the scoreboard, it looks a little bit more toward take the lantern there, but in terms of just overall gold, it's only about .7, so it'd be about 700 gold difference there. But we got the big stuns. Yeah, see, that's what we were talking about. If you just stack those stuns, it doesn't matter who's up against you because they're just bodies.
Oh man, and that was a relatively low cost for them too. Only what, one ult, maybe two?
Yeah, it looks like just the Sejuani and the Leona. Actually, I think 3 ults. So,
yeah, 3 ults.
Yeah, Sejuani, Leona, and Kennen all use their ults there. But that's still, I mean, it just seemed like a very low effort. They just all kind of walked in.
I mean, I blinked. I missed it. I'll be honest with y'all. That was just too quick.
They may be rotating up to Baron. I mean, they are all full health, even though all the respawn timers have ended now and Brawlers are back. Nope, looks like they're just going to return home. Spend some of their well-earned gold, because they all do have a lot of it. Most everyone's got 1,000 gold on Take the Lantern.
Oh yeah, and we've reached this point in the game where 2 minutes ago, Kenos, I'll get it.
Vhagar almost picked there, but manages to get home.
Man, he is the master of close calls. Not 2 minutes ago, there was less than a 1k gold lead. Now it's up to 4k gold. And engage on Braum from Sojourner. Looks like she's trying to slow him down, take this team fight forward. Not going to happen. Everybody disengages.
Yeah, it's good that Braum didn't get caught out again. That would have been very unfortunate. So yeah, we'll have to see, of course, with Baron with his festive headgear. But well, a lot of little poking going on right now. Wards everywhere, so most everyone has some idea where everyone else is. Kled does manage to avoid the stun that was trying to lock him down there, but of course Kled is very durable. So it's possible he could have survived that either way, but doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, and with Kled having completed the Spirit Visage, he's going to be able to stay in team fights forever.
Kled is the one out of position now and does get grabbed by the Leona. Leona does try to slow him down a little bit, but it looks like he's going to be able to get away. Yeah, it looks like just a lot more, somebody gets hit and everyone backs off. And
yeah, you can't even tell that engage happened now.
Yeah, for those keeping track, Kayn did go with his red version of himself, so he's a little more durable. Little less high damage, but of course that durability is really useful when you're up against a team with those many stuns. So we'll have to see where the next stage of this game goes. Looks like after all that poking, Take the Lantern's willing to back off. Go back to their lanes, protect their objectives, specifically top lane, who's getting a little bit of a big push coming in.
Yeah, no need to invest that heavily. They cracked the egg, they're ready to take the yolk whenever they please. You can leave at your own will.
And once again, the ward coverage, this time it's Take the Lantern that's got some really good ward coverage. They've got this entire area right before Baron warded off. And a couple of wards in the enemy's jungle as well. Blue only really has this one control ward up here, which of course could come into play later because control wards are permanent, but at the moment isn't really doing too much for him.
Not enough of an investment, in my opinion. So I agree with you. This vision's definitely going to take the Lantern.
Well, I mean,
along with the rest of the game right now, being frank.
Yeah, especially if this Baron goes down. But it's also just because the wards. Oh, we got a TP coming in here. Kled's coming in behind the Baron. That's an interesting choice. Going in on the whole team, hits the Sejuani, and now they're all focusing on him. Where's the rest of his team? There they are. Braum gets an ult that misses quite significantly there, and it looks like Kled's going to go down. Yes, he does, and more. Braum in a lot of trouble. Kayn blew his flash, but didn't actually go anywhere. Kayn gets picked off. Ezreal gets sniped, but survives. Ooh, Xerath manages to hit the Leona even with that flash. Might be able to get the Caitlyn. Nope. Ezreal does clean up on that Sejuani, and going in on the Vhagar. Vhagar manages to flash, gets away with 82 hit points. Ezreal does a good job of avoiding that snare there by Leona. They take the Leona out. Caitlyn also gets away with about 100 hit points. So good
Man, oh man.
turnaround. That was an
Long team fight.
Yeah, that was an amazing turnaround there by the Ezreal. It looked as though it was just going to be a 3-0, but Ezreal turns it back into at least a 2. He may have gotten 3. I don't believe he did.
He was able to cash in 2 and turn it into a 3 for 2. So better than the 3 for 0 that this team fight started out with. While we're waiting for this to re-engage, I will point out that Kled began his engagement and started this against the Sejuani. We could be talking about a very different game right now if he was able to hit someone a tad bit more squishy. Maybe someone like, say, the Zerath. The Vigar.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if the Braum had managed to land that ultimate like he intended to, they could have actually gotten in a lot of trouble from the brawlers there. They're lucky that it worked out the way they did.
Oh yeah, and it's all from a series of choices, as we do see this Drake being taken right now with a high contestability.
Oh, stolen! Excellent job there by the Kayn. Sneaking in there.
That's what that ghost form's about, man.
Alright, so that's the first dragon there for the brawlers. That was an Ocean Drake, so now both sides have that regeneration, which will help them out significantly. A lot of damage there on the Kayn, but of course his tankiness is helping keep him alive. He's stunned almost in a wall, which would have been really interesting.
They are not ending this team fight, and he does go down to Vigar.
Yeah. Zerath does get a lot of hits off on the Sejuani, but Sejuani, of course, is such a tanky creature, she gets away with well over 100 hit points.
Yeah, and arguably, thanks to that Ocean Drake.
Yeah, it looks like Kled wants something big here, but he's all alone for the next second or two. Ezreal might be in a lot of trouble. Does get a lot of stuns off on him. Good ult this time by the Braum, but Ezreal's still in a lot of trouble. Might get sniped out. Trying to get away. We're chasing the Ezreal here, but there's a lot of other fights going on. Braum gets picked off. Kled is in trouble. Zerath trying to help him out, and Zerath is kind of protecting Kled. Ooh, just manages to not get stunned. Oh, but the delete button comes in.
Whew, I don't know if I'd call this a team fight or a group murder. That was just very one-sided.
Yeah, it didn't quite seem like it in the beginning, but then once again, those stuns just started piling up.
They really didn't have the damage that they were needing, especially with that incredible cannon ult to start things off. Kayn going back in. I don't know if I agree with that logic, but he did go back in, try and re-engage that team fight.
Yeah, I think he was thinking they were all gone already, which again comes a little bit down to vision and map awareness, which Brawlers has been a little behind in compared to Take the Lantern in this game.
Oh, it's difficult. When you fall behind, it's difficult to push into that jungle and get that vision you need.
Yeah, definitely. That was actually going to be my original point before we had that team fight at Baron and all the madness that happened. But it looks as though Baron's going to get taken here, which of course will be a big boon. Looking at a 6k gold lead now. As we
looking at these health bars, you can't even tell that team fight and Baron fight happened. This is incredible. It's starting to snowball in favor of Team Take the Lantern right now. They are up 13 kills and 6k gold.
Yeah, especially with the amount of regeneration, like on the Sejuani in particular. I mean, she's got Warmogs, and I believe it is active. I would be very surprised if it wasn't active right now. Yeah, it's definitely active. So any damage Sejuani takes basically disappears 5 seconds after it happened.
Oh yeah.
But we'll have to see how Brew City comes back from this. What kind of thoughts do you have about how they can turn this back around?
I think it's going to be sticking with their original strategy. They invested heavy in team fights, and getting with that Kled mobility, they're going to be able to do some insane flanks if they can just get that back line. Their whole failure, including that last team fight, Leona was just able to peel for days against Braum and Ez. So she wasn't if you can't get to that back line, if you can't prioritize that Caitlyn, that Vigar, that Kennen, it's game over, and that's what's happened so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We'll see how they execute here. It is a 3-on-5, so they should really get a lot of work done here. Big stuns coming out of the Kennen, though.
They played right into it, and luckily they did get that 1-for-1 right now.
Kayn does get behind them, though, so that's something that Kayn needs to do for the rest of the game, though Caitlyn's trying to finish. Might be able to get at least one tower here. Teleports in. Kled does get taken out almost immediately, and they're going for more.
Incredibly risky play right now.
Yeah. almost ending the game there. Might still, depending how much of a distraction goes on with these Winions. Caitlyn does manage to go down, and Sedge goes down as well. Alright, so a delayed ace, though at what cost?
What cost? I would say that the investment that they made right there just bought the other team a whole minute, because now you have to wait for that Caitlyn and for the Sejuani to get their death timers lined up with the rest of the team again. This is gonna have to be. This is giving Team Brew City Brawlers the minute they need to try and level this playing field, get their lanes pushed out.
Yeah, definitely. And it is something that we've noticed in some of these fights about kind of how they had been falling behind a little bit. Like you said, they need to be able to focus better. Xerath has been hitting a lot of the tanks with his ult as opposed to maybe some of the squishier characters, focusing more on kills he thinks are possible rather than maybe getting some damage on squishier targets. But, you know, like we did say, they managed to pick off two of the squishes up in the top, so they need to have a little more coordination like that moving forward, and really I think take out the Kennen. I think Kennen's their big obstacle here with his massive team stuns.
Most definitely, and they need to get that stun down before he throws up that Zonias. Kled, incredible job of engaging, but again, he engaged right onto that front line. They need to really position themselves, so maybe it's like a 3-2 split coming in with a left hook flank. I'm not in the game. I can't tell you that's what they're thinking about happening, but honestly, that's what needs to happen when you're playing with someone like Kled.
Kane goes to try to clear out some wards and is now really out of position. That being said, he could get a lot of damage in on here, and he does try to. Big knockups going on here. Kennen gets taken out the Ezreal, but then we lose the Caitlyn as well. Kennen is actually in a lot of trouble here. He may end up going down, and he does. Brawler's doing a good show of it here. Let's see if it keeps that. Lots of flashes blown, 3 of them, I believe. Kane trying to do something, but now he's in a 3v1 because Kled is going to go down pretty quickly here. Nope, Kane actually gets saved, or Kane goes down. Kled gets saved by his little dinosaur, but dinosaur gets beaten out again, and more flashes burned. Kled is, almost got away with 18 hit points.
Whew, that was exciting. And one of the rare opportunities we see at the beginning of the team fight, and maybe continuing on, Xerath being approached by Sejuani. She's trying to hold the CC down for Leona to get into place. Leona trying to land CC, but incapable. Vygar shuts it down with that delete button. I tell you what, that was awesome.
Yeah, Xerath once again maybe staying in fights a little bit longer than he should, but just overall, I mean, that was a really good exchange by both teams. It just shows how far ahead that Take the Lantern is, that they were able to lock that fight out as it progressed.
Yeah, and we had an unexpected 6-man in the Elder Drake there. They were able to initiate that and keep the damage going. It looks like they're getting ready to right now. I think this might be it, folks, as we do see Sejuani take down Ezreal.
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of farming for the kills at this point. Brawlers are trying to give it their all here. Kled giving his little last second show in there, but that should be the end of game 1. Alright, so GG definitely by both teams. Take the Lantern. Really secure in their game plan, possibly because they did get away with those last couple of bans that they were able to avoid having. But great job by both teams nonetheless.
Incredible play, and this game was decided at 25 minutes in. So just to show the ability that Brew City Brawlers have, even being down three bans, just incredible play on their end.
All right, so we do have game 1 going to Take the Lantern here. I will just attempt to adjust the scoreboard, and then we will move into game 2 after a short break, just a couple of seconds, so please stay with us.